What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Now, finally, on this channel, we have some pretty positive news about Modern Warfare the 2nd. Now, I do apologize. I know everybody's getting sick and tired of hearing negative this, negative that. You know, everybody puts the blame on me saying that I'm just a negative person, but it is what it is, you know? If good stuff comes out about a video game that I enjoy, then guess what? I'll have a positive commentary about it. If bad things come out, then guess what? I have to have a negative commentary about it. It's not my fault that, you know, more than half the time, it's negative information, negative news, and negative leaks coming out for Call of Duty, okay? You know, I cover what I see. But today is actually going to be a good day because we have some positive information that came out over on Twitter by the Ghost of Hope, a very reliable leaker. And he went ahead and said, "Interesting piece of info I heard from a trustworthy source recently. Infinity Ward are planning to release all/almost all Modern Warfare 2 2019 maps together all at once sometime during the post-launch of Modern Warfare the 2nd, 2022. Very likely this could be year 2 content." Now, ladies and gentlemen, to me personally, this is massive news because never in the history of the Call of Duty franchise have we ever had this type of a massive content drop. You know, we've had tiny little DLC map packs that come out. You know, you pay like, what, $15 or something of that sort. You get 4 maps, right, in one map pack. Or like we see now with live service, where every single season they'll release maybe 1 to 2 maps every single season. But never have we ever seen a development team remaster all the maps within one title and give it to the community all at once. In my opinion, this is fantastic because we don't know what the map designs are going to look like in Modern Warfare the 2nd. And they already showcased to us that the footsteps are going to be extremely loud and it's going to be specialized for the campers to be able to hear people while they sit in their little corner in the building, and people can stomp around the outskirts of the map and they'll be able to pinpoint them and not have to move a step. We've already heard all the bad news about potential camping within Modern Warfare the 2nd. I don't want the map designs to turn out bad because from what I've seen, the maps look semi-good, and the way they describe the maps as, you know, having a playstyle for pretty much everybody, even though the footstep noise is going to be obnoxiously loud, it's still nice to see that the maps are going to be catering to absolutely every playstyle. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But like I said, if all else fails, if we see the same type of maps that we saw within Modern Warfare 2019, and we have the same exact sound audio, the same exact no dead silence as a perk, and you have to wait for a field upgrade, so obviously the playstyle is heavily influenced towards more campy playstyles. If that is how the game is going to turn out, then this right here is going to be our saving grace. Because out of all the Call of Duty games out there, for me at least, I know not everybody shares the same opinion, and you gotta keep in mind while you're listening to these commentaries that this is a opinion-based channel. Everything said on this channel, guess what, is my opinion. Who would have ever imagined, oh my goodness, a YouTuber who shares his opinion on their own channel? It seems like nobody can grasp that concept nowadays. But yes, everybody's entitled to their own opinions. If you share a different one, go down in the comment section and share what game you think has the best lineup of maps. But for me personally, it's tied between World at War and Modern Warfare 2. And Modern Warfare 2's map designs were so phenomenal to me because it did exactly what I said a little bit earlier, that I'm hoping Modern Warfare the 2nd's maps will do at the base launch of the game, cater to all playstyles. But, of course, if those maps don't do it and Infinity Ward fails to nail that, then hopefully we can fall back on these Modern Warfare 2, the OG Modern Warfare 2 maps, because these maps were back in the day when Call of Duty developers actually knew how to design their own maps. I feel like all of these more current day Call of Duty games, people are scarred against large maps. Nobody wants big maps anymore, right? But it's so sad to see because big maps used to be the best maps in Call of Duty with the most variety because the developers used to know how to create a big map without penalizing fast-paced players, medium-paced players, or even campy players. It allowed everybody to be able to rotate at their own pacing. And that's what I loved about Modern Warfare 2 because over half of the maps in that game were large-scaled maps. Medium to large-scale, I should say. Yes, they had, you know, a couple of really small ones like Rust, for example, which mostly you will only see in private matches, but across the board, I would say things like, you know, Afghan, Derail, Estate, Favela, you know, Invasion, all of these maps were very large, or at least medium, but much more towards the large scale side of things. And they were perfectly designed. I mean, Afghan was absolutely huge. It was perfect for snipers, but at the same exact time, I could take a UMP-45 and run through the caves. I could take a UMP-45 and dip and weave between the plains and the middle of the map. You know, there's ways that I can still navigate. Same thing with Derail. Everybody hated Derail, apparently, but I love Derail, in my personal opinion, because, once again, it allows all playstyles to have a good time. LMGs and snipers can stick towards the outskirts of the map and hide all gillied up in the tree line, or if you don't even want to deal with those type of players, if you don't want to have to get sniped on the outskirts, you can go right smack dab in the middle of the map. There's multiple buildings that you can run through with an SMG or an AR, navigate, breach and clear, and be able to take complete central control of the whole overall map. Once again, it comes down to people just not knowing how to navigate these maps. You know, everybody gets mad because they'll run to the outskirts with an SMG and they get sniped 5 times. But instead of stopping and saying, maybe I'm doing something wrong here, maybe I should go somewhere else, they keep repeating it. Hence why they hate the large maps. It's just, it doesn't make any sense to me. Again, a state, you know, massive map, tons of spots for snipers to chill out at, tons of spots for, you know, long-range rifles or anything of that sort, while at the same time you could run around with the SMG and you can hold down the actual estate, you can run through the back path of the estate and run down the, what was it, like, it wasn't like a, waterfall, but, you know, like the little creek that you can run down there and sneak around the outskirts of the map. There's so many ways for you to play these large maps in Modern Warfare 2. I mean, Wasteland's another amazing example. There's nothing, no cover whatsoever, yet you could still run that map with an SMG. Those were the prime days when the developers knew how to design large-scaled maps. So out of all the games for them to completely remaster, I think Modern Warfare 2 is the best one possibly to be done. And one thing that I've heard, which I do agree with, is if they're going to go ahead and remaster all of the Modern Warfare 2 maps all at once, that means there's going to be a lack of original maps, original creativity from the developers. And I do agree that that is what we want when the game initially launches, right? We want to see a ton of original maps. We don't want them to have to remaster stuff in order to make their game fun and playable. We want these developers to make new masterpieces, so 5, 6, 7, 8 years down the road, we can look at the new Call of Duty game and say, well, you know, that map in Modern Warfare the Second or that map in Modern Warfare the Second was really cool. We would love to see that map make another, you know, entrance, current date. You know what I'm saying? We want them to make a new Rust. We want them to make the next upcoming Nuketown. We want them to make the next iconic map, but they have to be creative with it. But you gotta think, the Ghost of Hope made it very clear that, once again, this might not be happening. Everything is subject to change. But if his sources are correct here, none of these maps are coming until the second year of Modern Warfare 2. Keep in mind that Call of Duty is skipping a year in 2023. So this planned event right here, where they're going to drop all of the Modern Warfare 2 maps, is planned for year 2 of Modern Warfare 2 in 2023. So all of the beginning year of Modern Warfare 2022 is basically going to be brand new content. And if they want to remaster maps here and there, they probably will, obviously, but all of the base maps that are going to be seen for pretty much the full year are going to be new content. So don't worry about them not adding in anything fresh, anything unique. Just think of it as, you know, as a backup. You know, if all else fails, if they cannot make a singular good map throughout the whole year of Modern Warfare 2, and we're suffering with nothing but crap, then in 2023, we're going to have a massive content drop to hopefully save the day and make the game a little bit more playable. Probably having like its own personal playlist, a Modern Warfare 2 playlist. What would be even better is if they remaster pretty much all of the old school Call of Duty maps. If they had like a Call of Duty 4 playlist, a Modern Warfare 2 playlist, and a Modern Warfare 3 playlist, where it's only those maps for each playlist that you could play, and that would be so badass. But more than likely, that's not going to happen. They're going to save a lot more of these maps for future games that they're probably going to release. But at the end of the day, don't worry about, you know, all the new content not happening, because all they want to do is remasters. None of these maps are coming until 2023, so we have plenty of time to see if Infinity Ward knows what they're doing. But at the end of the day, I'm extremely excited. I know people are a little skeptical, you know, about like Derail coming back, even though I love Derail, and even Rundown has grown on me a little bit over time. I, strangely enough, really do enjoy those maps in this game. I think they have variety in them, and I really don't see the problem with running gunning on a lot of these maps either. But at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a fantastic thing for the Call of Duty fans, because Modern Warfare 2 had some of the best lineup maps ever made, and I think it'll really reintroduce Call of Duty fans into large-sized maps. You know, like I said, we've been kind of brainwashed into thinking large equals bad when it comes to Call of Duty, when that was never the deal. I mean, Call of Duty 4, World at War, Black Ops 1, you know, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, the most fan-favorite Call of Duty game ever made. The majority of the fantastic maps in those titles are mostly medium to large maps. You know, just that's how it was back in the day. The developers knew what they were doing. Treyarch and Infinity Ward knew how to design a large-scaled map. So, I mean, I think it'll be fantastic for new-gen Call of Duty players, and also just Call of Duty players who didn't get to play the OG CODs like that, to really see what these maps were all about, get to understand the flow. Hopefully, the flow is still the same, because you gotta think, this isn't Modern Warfare 2, right? We're not on the Modern Warfare 2 engine. This is a completely different game, so I don't know if the flow is still going to be the same. I don't know if everything is going to be intact. You gotta think, with Modern Warfare 2019, all the remasters, they edited the maps. You know, they added in certain spots, they, you know, took away certain spots. So we'll see how Infinity Ward handles things. But if they just keep them the exact same way as they were back in their prime, like how Treyarch handles their remasters and they don't touch anything, I think we are definitely in for a treat. But, ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like. Bums, I hate it. Leave a dislike. Also, if you're brand new, enjoy the content, forget to subscribe and hit that notification button. Also, want to chat with me, that's the way to do so. Twitter and Discord, both linked down in the description. And also, want to catch me live streams of video games over on Twitch. Link that's in the description as well. But guys, thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace out.